I'm back with a little update about my mum. I haven't made a video for ages. We are the beginning of January. No, we at the end of January 2026. And yeah, again, I just haven't updated at all. But every time I think of making a video, I think I really should, because it's, I don't know if anybody watches this, but for me it's helpful. I don't really have time to write an awful lot, so just recording little bits of the journey, it just helps me to put it down somewhere, to share it. And I think if somebody else is going through this, I think maybe it helps. I'm in a Facebook group where, there's carers and people looking after a loved one with dementia. And I just noticed there's a lot of loneliness. It's just so difficult. And so I'm not very active in that group at all. But I do watch the stories, and occasionally I comment, and it just makes me realise there's a lot of loneliness. And my little contribution is to record a few videos. So just quick reminder, my mum has Alzheimer's disease. She was diagnosed in 2017, so nearly, anyway, a long time ago now. Anyway, we're coming up to 10 years. I mean, I suspected it many years before she was diagnosed. Last year in June, we actually had to make the decision. We put her in a care home. And she's been in there since, and honestly, it was difficult for me, but and for her. I mean, at the beginning, it was difficult as well for her, it's obviously difficult to know what she was going through completely, but it was quite obvious that she struggled. Then now, just over 6 months down the line, I have to say, I'm pleased to say that she has adapted quite well. So it's okay, it's less heartbreaking. It was very heartbreaking at the beginning to go and see her and to go away, and then to realise that, she just never wanted us to go. She wanted to go home. She was quite aggressive at times, accusing me of putting her in there when really it wasn't really my decision. And anyway, there you go. It was the right decision to make, even if it had been my decision. But it's strange, isn't it? Because with dementia, I mean, the person loses their mind in many ways. But some things stay and stay the same, and some things are stay difficult. Like with my mum, we've had a difficult relationship for a long time, and some patterns re-emerge. Like she has a tendency, or had a tendency, to be very, very hard on me. And that sort of came out again in force when she went into the home. But I must say now, she seems to have adapted, and she seems to have she's not so remembering that she had another life, I think. She doesn't really say, when am I going home? It's almost as if she's forgotten that she was somewhere else before. Which obviously is a little sad on the one hand, but is also great relief, because it means she suffers a lot less. And so she's also a lot less aggressive. One thing I've noticed, and that's just a little tip if you're going through this, is we noticed at the beginning we were very intent on taking her out. We would take her out. I took her to the restaurant, I took her to the cafe, I would go out for walks with her. And we realised that, we invited her to our place as well when there was one of my children's birthdays. And we realised that it was actually almost harder for her because, when she goes out of the place, of the home, she's quite disorientated. It's quite difficult. Then she starts to panic because she doesn't know where she is. It must be quite panicking. And then the other thing is, when she had to go back, we brought her back. It was always a big thing. So she panicked. She didn't know why she was going there. She kind of had forgotten that she was there. So she would say, I want to go home. It was almost as if we were putting her in the home all over again. So what we decided was not to take her out anymore. So just to go and see her and stay there. And you know, there's a little garden, we can go in the garden, but just not to take her away from the home. And it was quite difficult because for Christmas we actually had to decide not to take her out. And you know, I had a Christmas party and a meal and everything, and obviously traditionally she would always be invited with her husband, and this time we said, well, no, it's actually better for her if we don't take her. And I did find that quite difficult, but I think it was the right decision because she does seem now to be a lot more settled where she is. And it's, as I said, almost as though she's forgotten that there was another life before. I think that's better for her, to be fair. And yeah, I mean, aside from that, they have also given her kind of different type of medication because she was quite anxious and a bit aggressive. And then this medication, I don't know what it is, but it's kind of making her calmer. And you know, on the one hand, it's kind of hard because she's less vivacious as she was. She has more trouble walking. I mean, she still walks fine, but you can sort of tell that she's more wobbly on her feet and all that stuff. And at the same time, she is calmer. I can see that, and I'm pleased about that. So that's nice. I went to see her a few times over the Christmas break, and you know, it was peaceful and it was nice actually. I went again yesterday with my son, and we had a good time. It was sweet, you know. It's always so bittersweet. It really is, because on the one hand, yeah, it's sweet. On the other hand, every time you go, you sort of notice that you know it's getting worse. Now she finds it quite difficult to finish her sentences, so it gets difficult to have a conversation. It's been for quite a while now. She forgets what she said, so the conversation gets difficult. But now she's got this thing where she starts a sentence and she sort of doesn't end it, or the sentence just doesn't make any sense at all, and then it makes sense again, but then by the time you answer, she's forgotten the question. So conversation is getting quite difficult. What I noticed is once when I went to see her, we actually went, they have these little workshops every day. I mean, workshops, it's a grand name, but you know, they have activities every day. And once I arrived, where the activity of the day was to listen to music, and so I did that with her. I went with her, and we just sat there and we listened to the music with all the other people who were there. And so I was with her, but I didn't have to engage or make conversation. And I think it was just nice to just be with her, you know. And so yeah, so generally I find it is quite peaceful. She's got this strange thing now that she's not eating much at all. She's lost weight. She's a little woman. She's not, you know, I've got the same build. We're quite petite and not, you know, all thin and everything. But she's lost quite a bit of weight on top of that. So that's a bit concerning because she's not eating much and she's got this sort of reflux. And so yesterday, several times she was going like that, and she said it was hurting her. And they had told me that they're giving her medication for that she was sick a few times, and they think she's got some kind of gastric acid reflux or something, which she never had before. So I hope that's okay, and I hope she's not in too much pain. But it's hard to know, really, completely, you know. Another thing I will say is she does these strange things, like, you know, yesterday she ordered a coffee when I asked her does she want to drink, and she said yes, a coffee. So I brought her the coffee, and here in Switzerland, they give you a little chocolate with the coffee. So she took the chocolate and she just put it in the coffee as if it was a lump of sugar. And she just left it there instead of eating it, which was quite atypical for her. She wouldn't have done that before. She would have maybe dipped the chocolate in the coffee and eaten it, but not just put it in. And then she didn't drink the coffee at all. And at one point she took the little bag of sugar, and she never put sugar in her coffee ever in her entire life. And there she just took the sugar and she sort of tried to eat it like that, to pour it in her mouth, and then it went absolutely all over the place. And then she poured the rest of the sugar in the coffee, and then she didn't drink the coffee. I kind of thought, yeah, there's just these odd behaviors, that she just didn't have before. And again, I'll share that because I know that when my mum had the diagnosis, I was on YouTube looking for videos on how the disease would evolve, and I wanted this information. There's not much really. I wanted real life stories. So my hope is, as well as it does me good to talk about it, my hope is also that it might help somebody who needs it, who wants to know a bit how it evolves. I mean, so my mum's as I say, she was diagnosed, I think it was 2017. I think it was. Maybe it was 2018. Anyway, it was at least 8 years ago that she was diagnosed, and I started suspecting in 2014. So 12 years ago, there were signs that, and the reason I remember this year particularly was because my daughter turned 10, and one of the things that alerted us was that she did something really very weird on my daughter's 10th birthday, and that again alerted me, and I thought, this is so strange, and why is she forgetting that? And anyway, so just to say, diagnosis, I started really strongly thinking something is wrong 12 years ago. So it's been, and she's 82 now. Is she? Yes, she's 82 now. So, she was 70, just to give you an idea of the time scale. So it is, I think when Alzheimer's starts later, it evolves slower, but obviously that depends on the people, right? It's very individual, but in her case it is slow. At this stage she can still feed herself, she can still walk, she can still talk, she still recognizes me. Although there is some confusion, she often mixes me up, confuses me with her sister, but she still, when I say it's Sophie, she's, oh, Sophie, and then she does know who I am. She knows who my son is. If I go with my children, any of my children, she knows it's my children. But then sometimes she gets confused and she'll say, well, who's looking after them now that I'm here? And it's kind of it's weird. So she gets a bit confused, but overall she knows they're my children, and she knows who I am, and she knows I'm married and all that stuff. And yeah, she can still eat on her own, but yeah, there's definitely also the other thing that people don't talk about because it's a bit of a taboo, but it's a big thing with dementia. I went through it with my dad. Is obviously incontinence, and that is quite difficult. So, she's okay, but there's accidents, and so that's beginning to deteriorate as well. So that's just, yeah, the loss of dignity with that is really horrible, but there you go. So yeah, I just wanted to share this really briefly, and for me, I'm a bit more at peace with this. One thing I do find hard is there's a lot of things that I would have wanted to resolve with my mum, and a lot of hurt between us, a lot of difficult things, and I realize now that it's too late, right? I can't resolve this, at least not with her, because she doesn't know what I'm talking about. There just isn't really much point, and that is a bit hard. And at times I'm angry with myself, and I think, oh, I should have dealt with this earlier. And then I remind myself that I tried to, and she just wouldn't listen. And so I have to just make peace with myself about that. But I really do try to go once every 10 days roughly, so I can see her and just have this relationship with her as she is now. Because, well, yeah, because I just want to, you know, I just want to. She doesn't, I think I could go once a year or every day, and she wouldn't really see the difference. I think she never remembers when I've been. She doesn't really remember when my sister's been, when my stepfather's been. It's like, it seems like, you know, she just doesn't remember the visits. So that is a bit frustrating. But at the same time, I go anyway because I find it's important. And I do know that she likes it. I mean, she seems to like it at least. So, yeah. So yeah, there you go. That's the update for today. I really will try to update once a month. If you're going through this, I know it's tough. It is really tough. And I just send you a lot of love. And if you have any questions, anything, just or any comment, even anything, we can just share the experience, right? And help each other out. Yeah, let me know. Just post, just leave a comment. I'd be very happy to interact with people. So that's it. Look after yourself, okay? Take good care. Speak soon. Bye for now.